ABC4 News at 10 starts now.
Thanks so much for being with us on a Friday night. I'm Brian McElhatton. Sarah is off tonight. We're glad you could be with us. We begin with a red flag warning in place for southeast Utah, the first one of the year. Fire conditions will be dangerous this weekend, and we'll tell you about that in a moment. But first, exclusive new details on how a small spot fire in the Uinta Mountains blew up to more than 33,000 acres, turning the Yellow Lake fire into Utah's biggest wildfire last year. And now a logger who was working at ground zero of that fire is sharing what they witnessed. The logger, who we'll call Jackie, asked to remain anonymous in this exclusive interview.
At the time, the fire wasn't that big.
According to a Forest Service investigation report, officials were on scene when the fire was just over an acre in size.
So when his men went over and asked why they weren't fighting the fire, he was told that they were waiting for instructions on how to proceed.
The report shows crews on the ground requested an aircraft to scout out the fire shortly after arriving on scene. However, the first water drop didn't come for another 2 days.
I can't really say why they really waited.
In a statement to ABC4, the U.S. Department of Agriculture said, in part, quote, "There are instances when wildland fires are allowed to burn. However, those instances are limited to certain naturally ignited fires."
If I was in their shoes, I'm not going to go against my boss. If they're telling us to wait, then you wait.
The investigation determined the cause of the fire to be logging equipment. Now the Forest Service intends on levying a $16,000 fine against the company it holds responsible. Jackie says South and Jones Timber is fighting the fine.
They believe that the fire could have been gotten under control, and it wouldn't have cost as much to fight it if they had put it out right away.
Well, ABC4 reached out to South and Jones, who responded with a written statement. It reads, South and Jones has been and is currently in communication with the Forest Service about the origins and responses to the fire. They received an inquiry from the Forest Service requesting information on the expenses they incurred in fighting the fire shortly after the fire was discovered near a job site that South and Jones had not worked in several days. However, they would dispute any insinuation that its operations were the cause of the fire or any attempt by the Forest Service to levy a fine on what they call a false conclusion.